What's going on, y'all? Minutes with Mellon. Take a long video, make it short, you know. So, this is fucking sick. What Biden's doing, dude. That's fucking crazy. Well, I guess Snopes just found out that the diary was fact-checked to be true. So Biden showered with his own daughter. That's fucking disgusting. At the same time, they're trying to put Trump in jail, like hardcore. They're breaking every fucking law and precedent ever set just to put him in jail. It's freaking unbelievable. Like, I don't even see how this is legal at all. I mean, I understand what they do to Trump. They just want to put him through the process. The process is exhausting enough. Like, oh, you got to sit through this fucking 7-week trial of bullshit. While you should be on a campaign trail. Oh, we're gonna put a gag order on you so you can't fucking talk. Like, what? And then, well, shit, let's just get into it. Let's just burrow right in. I want to make like a little animation of like a little mole, like burrowing into a hole. So yeah, let's oh shit. Let's start with the good old Biden diary. God, this is gross.
Snopes has updated it. Used to be mixed.
Yeah, no,
it was. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Now they are verifying.
Are you kidding me?
That the diary does in fact belong to Ashley.
No,
Snopes just adjusted it.
Yeah, correct. Snopes adjusted it because Ashley wrote the letter to the judge saying when the girl.
Read that bottom, by the way. That's the key. So, okay, go to the top, Rob. Go all the way to the top. That shows what? Have contents of Ashley Biden's diary been verified? Go a little lower. So, a diary authored by President Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley, describes showers taken with her father when she was a child as not appropriate. Then, on the bottom, look what they say. Note, on April 29, 2024, this is a month ago, Snopes changed the rating of this fact check from unproven to true.
Weird.
Based on testimony provided by Ashley Biden in an April 8 letter to New York judge requesting jail time for one of the two people convicted of stealing her diary, Biden wrote, "I will forever have to deal with the fact that many personal journals can be viewed online. Previous version of this fact check noted strong evidence that the diary existed, but argued that no source had authenticated the content of the published online writing the authenticity of the photographs perpetrated to be from a diary." And they said, "Wow."
Now, and remember, I reported this, PBD, and I said that she stated she was overly sexualized when she was young. She said, "I don't even want to talk about this family of friends' house that she would go to." She was like probably molested, and then she wrote, "I was showers with my dad." Probably inappropriate. So for you to have the know-how at that age to say, I shouldn't have been showering with that. Hypersexualized at a young age, along with mentions of not liking to visit certain families' houses, being sexualized with a female friend, and having sex with my friends at a young age, and showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. She's been trying to, mind you, her father, she wrote in the diary, Joe Biden called her crying because during the election, this was out. People were talking about it. They went after
Joe Biden called her crying?
Called her crying because of what she was going to go through if this got out. Because the information, because this was.
How do you know Joe Biden was crying?
It's in the diary that she called him. She says that he was crying because this type of stuff was going to get leaked. It could get in China's hands. It could get in Russia's hand. But at the end of the day, I wish somebody could sit her down and say, Ashley, I'm sorry it had to happen. You left your diary, so somebody took it and tried to sell it to James O'Keefe's, Project Veritas. He didn't want it. They tried to sell it to the Trump campaign. Trump's campaign said, we don't want it. It's not verified. Don't even come at us with this. But come to find out that it's true, I think somebody should sit her down, Pat, and say, listen, we're sorry for everything that you've gone through. Your brother's obviously, your father's done a horrible job because you guys are both messed up people. You both are in therapy. Your brother records every single deviant action that he does. What happened with your father? Can you please elaborate? At what age were you having those showers with your father? When were you sexualized? Like, I know it's personal, but it's out there. The information is there. And if your father is called Pedo Pete, there has to be some type of, fire there. There's smoke. So I think somebody needs to ask.
What do you
him.
think about this?
Well, I'll just compartmentalize these two different stories here. I have zero issue with him, with Jill Biden. They've been married 45 years, guys. So let's just, you know how hard it is to stay married 7 years, the 7-year itch, much less 10 years, much less 20 years. You've been married how long?
You know about this how?
Tom, how long you been married? Tom, how long you been married?
22 years.
Okay, it's hard. So 45 years. Allegedly, he proposed 5 different times. 9-year age difference. I don't see any issue whatsoever with what's going on with Jill.
Do you see any issue with showering with his daughter?
Now, what I will say is whatever happened with Ashley Biden definitely seems creepy. I know he has the nickname Sleepy Joe. You might want to change it to Creepy Joe.
It is creepy.
But do you think she's going to talk? No. Do you think she's going to come out and say anything? No. Do you think the American people actually really genuinely care about this when there's inflation and cost of living? I don't see this being a massive story. I think the Hunter Biden thing was way more ridiculous. But yeah, if people can talk about this all they want. If this is something that motivates you, go for it. But specifically with Jill, I don't think it's an issue.
I think I disagree, Adam, a little bit, because I think it is a big issue with all the sex trafficking and pedophilia and the Epsteins and all the shit that we have to be hearing all the time that gets swept under the rug. If the president, the sitting president of the United States, has been on camera grabbing young girls, sniffing them, making them uncomfortable, I don't care who you are, seeing that bothers me, and I'm not even a father. I'm not a parent. And those people just stood there and they're laughing. He's been getting away with it for years. They protect this type of freaking behavior. And for his daughter, this is proof, 100% proof. She said it. I didn't write it. I didn't say it. She's saying that, and the son is...
By the way, but stay on that.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You think that is...
So that's just fucking disgusting in itself. But let's go back to 1 minute. This dude talks about, we're going to switch gears here, about the Trump trial that's going on.
Is sufficient. In other words, the jurors don't have to agree unanimously on one of these other object offenses. Of course, we think that is dead wrong. Greta Van Susteren also agrees, and you know who else does? The Supreme Court. We have a case called Richardson versus United States, which shows us that you got to agree on the elements. That's kind of how the law works. We don't want it to be a pick a crime, any crime situation. Pick a card, any card, whatever you want, you're a winner. We need to have clear elements so the defense has notice about what those elements are, so we have some specificity about the crime. It's a due process problem that Judge Mercan apparently doesn't care about at all. So we'll go through the instructions. We'll also ask ourselves about accomplice liability, accessory liability, and then get reaction from Inside Jen Psaki, Alina Abba, and Doug Burgum to round out this segment, so stick around for that reaction. But first and foremost, Judge Mercan continues to try to rig this thing, saying the jurors can basically do whatever they want, just pick any crime that is sufficient, as long as it makes them feel good inside and they heard something that keys them off on that, good enough. And this makes it more difficult, I think, for Trump to get a hung jury, because they can all just pick whatever they want. They all just have a menu. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. You want that one? I would never have that. That sounds disgusting. But if that works for you, you can order that. So how do you have a hung jury when everybody can pick whatever they want? So here's the judge, apparently, according to Josh Gerstein, reporting for Politico, says, to convict Trump of felonies, the jury does not need to unanimously agree on what the predicate crime is. Wild. Whatever they want. He intended to do something bad. Well, what did he intend to do bad? Whatever you want. To find Trump guilty of felony level falsification, jury, of course, must find unanimously that there were falsified business records. But the judge ruled that not all jurors have to agree on what the separate crime was. Trump's defense argued that to issue a felony level conviction, all jurors should be required to agree on the predicate crime. That's what a unanimous jury is. You're unanimous on all of the elements. Prosecutors initially laid out 4 possible predicate crimes. One, the judge said no. The others are the tax crimes, the state crime, and the Fed election crimes. Now, the defense attorney, when we were in court, Emile Beauvais, he argued, he said, Your Honor, jurors should have to agree on a single predicate offense. But Matthew Colangelo, the Biden prosecutor who left the Biden DOJ to come resurrect this zombie case, said, the law doesn't require that. He says, Your Honor, no. The importance of the case is not a basis for deviating from the standard application of the law. The law says this. this. There's no reason to rewrite the law for this case. It doesn't say you have to be clear, just any crime. Merchan agreed with the prosecution and said he won't impose the requirement that the defense requested. In other words, if some jurors believe that Trump falsified business documents solely to cover up a tax crime, and other jurors believe no, he falsified business records to cover up an election crime, they can still convict him. That's how they're going to break the hung jury. The jury can still convict Trump on the felony level falsifying documents charge, despite disagreeing on the predicate crimes. Pick a crime, any crime, doesn't matter. You can just do whatever you want. This is not obviously justice at all, because the jury can choose their own adventure, whatever they heard. So Trump has to defend against a bunch of hypothetical crimes, which is basically impossible because the jurors can just have a very loose, open standard, and they can't.
Which is basically impossible. That's pretty much what he said. I mean, can you imagine that? You're on trial. They haven't told you what you've done or what you're on trial for. You're just there. And then, when finally, after the fucking circus is over, the instructions they give to the jury are just pick a crime, whatever crime you want. Doesn't matter what it is. Just if you think he might have done something, even if you don't have evidence of it, just pick something and go with that. What the fuck? This is fucking ridiculous, dude. We'll play a little bit more of this and then
and agree on it. Now, this is what the judge has allowed. This is the judge's ruling. I think the judge is wrong, and I think the judge is going to get reversed on appeal, but they don't care about that. All they want right now is a felony conviction to stick. They need 34 felony convictions, or any, even if they split it, even if they say Trump is only responsible for the ones that he signed. So maybe they throw out the ones that were signed by Eric and Weisselberg. They still just need a conviction, and they'll be able to parlay that into their campaign. So the problem with that is it's wrong. Greta Van Susteren posted this one. Says, yeah, we looked this up. Says, here's the Supreme Court case on unanimity. She referenced Richardson versus United States. This came out from the Cornell Law School brief site. And here they give us some background on what this case was all about. That there was a trial that was looming. So some background on this actual case that Greta cited for us. Says there was this guy, his name was Richardson. There was a statute, you cannot engage in a continuing criminal enterprise. What does that mean? What was it? Did they have to prove in order for it to be continuing? Was it a series of violations? Was it one violation and you have to prove the one violation? Complexities about how the rules work, kind of a bad statute. Now, what happened was the judge instructed the jurors that they must unanimously agree that the defendant committed at least 3 federal narcotic offenses. So he says you committed 3 violations, but
no, this is a completely different case, but this is like a precedence. This is what the Supreme Court has already ruled on. So, like, if the Supreme Court has already ruled on something years prior, like, that is the precedent. That is the law. They're just going over that. But what they're saying is, like, you have to have elements of a case. You have to agree on the actual elements, not, oh, just pick whatever you want.
But you did not have to agree on the particular offenses. So the government would throw up like 20 different options. That was an offense. That wasn't an offense. That was one too. Throw out a bunch of stuff to see what sticks. The jurors just have to pick 3. There's 20 options, just pick 3. The jury said, oh, we can do that, no problem. So they convicted him easily, obviously. But this got reversed. Nope. The case must unanimously agree, a jury, that not only that the defendant committed a continuing series of violations, so the sequence, but also about which specific violation make up the continuing series. So you have to be specific about each sub-violation in order to get the continuity. Very similar to what we have here. In terms of, we have a series of checks. They're alleging a conspiracy. There is no conspiracy charge. And they're saying that Trump, they don't have to prove what the object offense was for the business records. They say a jury in a federal criminal case, this was the fed level, not the state level, cannot convict unless it unanimously finds that the government has proved each element of the offense.
Boom. There it is. And they're just saying, pick whatever the fuck you want. He's guilty. Like, come on, y'all. And then you're going to turn around and say, oh, if Trump gets elected into office, there goes democracy. Look at what you guys are fucking doing right now. Like, you have thrown this shit out the fucking window. Like, you will break every fucking rule and law ever written just to try to get this dude in jail because you know he'll beat you in a free and fair election. This shit is unbelievable, dude. Like, it just blows my mind the lengths that they will go to, the amount of money they will spend to try to fucking get this dude in jail. It's beyond insane. Like, Trump derangement syndrome is a real fucking thing. Like, it's sad, dude. It's so fucking sad. And Trump actually went recently on Tim Pool podcast and he did a really good interview. Y'all should check it out. But yeah, BBD broke down the diary. It's true. Biden's a fucking pedophile, like 100%. Always knew that, but there's actual proof. And then this dude, Robert Gouvier Esquire. He broke. I mean, this was dated. If you look at the pages, they're dated the 22nd. Today's the 28th, so kind of makes sense. Like if it's dated the 22nd, you know, obviously he ain't gonna get his hands on something that same fucking day. So about a week later, he gets something. Kind of makes sense. If these really are the jury instructions, this blows my mind. But yeah, I just thought that's the insanity, the two insanities that's going on in the world right now. Besides every fucking war that Biden has started too. So yeah, burrow in deep, y'all.